Hello, lovely people. It is Susie Ashworth here, founder of the Calm Birth School, and I just wanted to hop on today to talk about something that I haven't spoke about for a while. And this conversation was prompted from a lady who had taken the Calm Birth School course and had been slightly knocked off course by something surprising or something unexpected happening very, very early on in her birth. And it really got me thinking that this is such an important message to be sharing with everybody who is interested in creating the best possible birth experience for themselves. And I think that it's something that we look to emphasize hugely with the Calm Birth School online course, as well as with our instructors. And I think that it's still something that's missed. I think that it's still something that's missed quite a lot when with people who are trying to prepare positively for a great birth. And people think that by thinking positively, or they think that hypnobirthing is purely about thinking positively. If you don't think about anything negative and you only think about great things about your birth, then you are going to get an amazing birth experience or the perfect birth experience. And I think that that message does women a huge, huge disservice. Hypnobirthing isn't about thinking your way to a great birth experience by just positive thinking. It is important to be looking forward to giving birth, don't get me wrong. It is important to not surround yourselves with people who are constantly talking about all of their negative birth stories and the stories that they've heard about other people. It's absolutely crucial that you don't do that, for sure. But the reality about giving birth is that it's an unpredictable thing. And we can have the best plans and have done the best preparation in the world. But if our baby has a completely different idea about how they are going to enter into the world, if, for example, baby gets into a non-optimal birth position, or if, for example, you are in labour for 4 or 5 days, or you have your waters release and you don't go into labour within 24 hours, and you have your care team that you're working with kind of pressuring you to take additional steps to help nature on its way. All of these things can impact how you give birth. They can impact your preferences for the ideal birth that you've been thinking about. And none of those things, regardless of how positively you have been thinking about what's going to happen and how positively you've been preparing, positive thinking can't eradicate any of those things that I've just mentioned. And I think that it's really, really important that if you are using hypnobirthing or thinking about using it, you understand that this isn't about guaranteeing you the perfect birth experience. One, perfection only exists in the dictionary. Everything is imperfectly perfect. And secondly, you are setting up a much healthier foundation for success by preparing for the most positive experience that you can have based on the circumstances that you're presented with on the day. So what that means is you and your birth partner, if you have one. If you don't have one, then I recommend getting a doula. You have somebody that you can speak with about your ideal scenario, so your preference A, and then you have somebody that then you have a preference B. So what happens if, when my water's released, there's meconium in the waters, it looks quite dark, and my care team want to put me on continuous monitoring? You have to think about how you're going to feel, and what you would like to happen, you know. And then you use your hypnobirthing techniques, you use the visualization tools, you use your breathing techniques, and you think about, how am I going to use those tools in that type of situation to help me stay really, really calm, to help me remember to use my brain acronym, so I'm able to talk to my care providers about the benefits, about the risks, about the alternatives. So I'm able to tune into my instincts, rather than just thinking about, okay, my surgeries are going to start, it's going to be a really gentle build up, and then I'm going to go into active labor, and then I'm going to go into the second phase of labor. Rather than only thinking about that, allow yourself to explore what happens if things don't go to plan straight away. Okay, so how am I going to deal with that? How am I going to remain calm? How's my partner going to deal with that? Are they in the best place to be able to support me if things go slightly off piste immediately? Okay, and then how am I going to deal with things if if my labour doesn't progress as I anticipated, as quickly as I anticipated? If I feel pain, if I feel intensity, and I want assistance, how am I going to feel about that? Like, what are my preferences? How do I want my birth partner to speak to me? How do I want to be directing my care providers? All of these things I want you to be thinking about, So where the positive thinking comes in is whilst we are pregnant, and for those women who are having low risk pregnancies and have a low risk labor, and have their bodies are working in exactly the way that we would anticipate, baby is moving in exactly the way that we anticipate, when everything is textbook, then having that positive mindset is one of the best tools that you can have in your toolkit. Absolutely. But if things go slightly off piece, if things don't go exactly the way that we are thinking or hoping that they would do, that's when understanding the importance of your breathing techniques, understanding how to interact with your care providers, making sure that your birth partner is really, really keyed and tuned in to how you want to deal with scenarios B, C, D, and E, are really, really super important. Hypnobirthing is about empowering women. So the way that we teach it at the Calm Birth School, the Calm Birth School method, is about empowering women to be able to navigate the natural twists and turns of labour with confidence, feeling calm and feeling powerful. And what that means is, should you end up with a cesarean birth, should you end up moving into hospital after planning a home birth, should you wish to have an epidural, all of those decisions are made from a place of power, knowledge. Even if you haven't nailed all of that knowledge beforehand, being able to interact with your care providers in a way that leaves you feeling like you are making decisions from a place of strength, and so that you can feel truly in control, that you felt in control, and that your birth was something that you were driving rather than something that happened to you, even if you end up with an unplanned cesarean, even if you end up in a situation that does feel like an emergency, that you still were able to interact with your partner and your care team in a way that left you feeling powerful and empowered, rather than what the fuck happened there? I had no idea. So the main takeaway for this is that hypnobirthing isn't just about positive thinking, and positive thinking cannot guarantee you a perfect birth. Please don't aim for perfection. Please aim to feel positive and empowered regardless of what happens, and regardless of the way that your baby enters into the world. And you do this by thinking about your concerns beforehand, by thinking about your preference B, your preference C, what happens if. So I hope that's helpful. Please feel free to leave any comments, and I'll pop back later in the day to answer any questions that you might have. If you haven't signed up for the free classes that we offer online, then please check out www.thecalmbirthschool.com/free hypnobirthing. Okay, lovelies, take care. Bye.